All right. Feeney Talks with Friends, episode 136. We're in a special place with a special person. What's up, Greg?
It's happening.
This is great. My name's Eric Feeney, founder and president of Friends of Feeney, and I use this podcast, Feeney Talks with Friends, and I talk to wonderful people that are in the community doing great things. And you've been in the community. Well, Cricket Press has been in the community for 54 years. That's amazing. And how long have you been a part of Cricket Press? Since birth.
Since birth, basically. Yeah, I started kind of like actually a lot of the guys that have been here forever. I started by taking out the trash, bringing in boxes, breaking down used boxes, stuff like that. And then throughout middle school, high school, college, I was on and off part-time. And then after graduation is when I joined full-time.
Awesome. So yeah, we're here at Cricket Press on 236 Park Road. I'm with my friend Greg Confessore.
Nailed it.
Confessore. My guy, Greg. I want to thank you. I don't even know where to start. We have so much thank yous, histories, but I want to start with a huge congratulations. These balloons are for you.
Thank you.
Can we get the round of applause? Round of applause. Greg and Cricket Press. You want to share it? Can I share?
Share it.
You are Small Business of the Year. That is an amazing honor from the Hartford Business Journal. Here's an handwritten card.
Great, thank you.
I talk about writing a handwritten card. This is for Greg. Maybe you open it and read it later, or not.
Thank you.
But Small Business of the Year. That's a huge honor. Please elaborate and talk about this. How do you feel?
You know, it's funny. When I got the initial phone call, I actually hung up. Because I'm like, no way. We always jokingly say, behind the scenes, we don't do anything different than anybody else. We just do what we can from a business perspective, from a professional perspective. We're just like anybody else. We don't, there's a lot of secret that kind of goes behind the scenes. But quite literally, when I got the phone call, I hung up thinking, there's no way this is real. It's like, oh, yeah, you won the Australian lottery. It's like, yeah, no, I didn't. No way. I didn't know. I don't play. They ended up calling back, and I'm like, really? That's pretty incredible.
Wow. And the celebration's May 8th.
Yep.
That's in a couple days.
7th and 8th, yeah. Later
Where are
in
you
the week,
going?
Thursday,
What are you wearing?
I thought it was going to be a lot more casual till I just got the agenda, and I got to have a 4 to 5 minute acceptance speech ready. I'm like,
Whoa.
Okay, so this is a big deal. All right.
Wow. They gave you a time?
Yeah.
They want 4 to 5 minutes.
4 to 5 minutes at most. So it won't be too bad, but won't bother me.
So cool. No, you've been helping out, again, 54 years here, Park Road. Your contact number is cricketpress.net. What is Cricket Press? Say, I teach third grade. You knew that. Say you're explaining to a third grader what you do here at Cricket Press.
Yep.
Ready, go.
Easiest way I always describe it, it's a motto that we haven't officially created as a tagline, but you think it, we ink it. You have a logo, you can put a logo on it, we can do it. And that kind of applies for pretty much anything. When we first started as a business, it was traditional paper, business cards, letterhead, all that kind of stuff. And the technology's just evolved so rapidly. Even in the last 10 years that I've been here, we've gone far beyond that now. And now it's stuff like the yard signs and magnets and stickers. Like I said, you think it, we ink it. I mean, it really comes down to if you can put your logo on it, it's possible.
Yes.
In a nutshell. So, and there's a lot of different areas you can go within that, obviously. But we've really done our best to keep up with the technology as it evolves by the day. We've continued to kind of stay current on a lot of that stuff. And then we've also relied heavily on some of the other print shops in the area where it's not possible to own all of the equipment. So you have to learn to rely and trust the other guys in the area, where a lot of people will say, oh, what's your thoughts on another shop in the area? And they're kind of feeding into the expectation for me to say, oh, they're a rival. No, they're not, because on multiple fronts, number one, I want them to succeed because they are helping lift our craft, so to speak. And then also, if they've got technology or equipment that we don't have, we rely heavily on them, which for us, it always comes down to the relationship building. So with our customers, we take pride that we are happy to transition customers to some of those places, or the customers that we've got relationships with will say, we can handle it for you. We'll go talk to that other shop and just make it a one-stop solution for you. So that's been always one of the big things. We get that question probably weekly. How do you feel about XYZ? Whether it's a new shop in the area, whether it's a shop that's not around here, but everyone uses them. The more the merrier. We are fully supportive of all the other shops out there and kind of lifting that craft we do.
I know. I just talked with Ryan McGinnis from Ryan Soft Wash, and he said too, same thing. He has a friend that does the soft wash business, and he doesn't treat them as a competitor.
Right.
They bounce questions off of each other,
Sure.
ideas, suggestions, new things. So that's power in numbers.
Think together, learn together. That's kind of how we've always looked at it.
I like it. Think together, learn together. You started to go into it, so I was like, man, he's doing it. But I like to ask 3 keys. So let me go over some sponsors first. We have Keating Agency Insurance, Ryan Keating, you know these guys. Hit the mic. Float 41, The Fix IV, Luna Pizza, Golf Law Group, People's Bank, Parkville Management, Maximum Beverage, Sally and Bob's our newest one, and West Hartford Lock. So with West Hartford Lock, what are your 3 keys that make you great at the vice president of Cricket Press? What are 3 keys? Because I caught yourself. You did one a minute ago. So a key.
A key
3
in
keys.
how we operate.
Yeah. What makes you good at being a vice? What makes this place run? What are 3 keys that keep this place?
Number 1 and probably number 2 and number 3 are the people. Got to start there because our team. I mean, I put our team against anybody else that's out there. We've got guys. If you go back to the beginning, the 54 years, Dom, who was just running around a minute ago, Dom's been here well over 30 years. Marvin has been over here 40 years. And then we had a couple of years ago, once COVID hit, Peter retired, but Peter had been here for about 30 years. And then Carol, the original owner, her and her husband who started the business, she was here right up till COVID. And she just passed in the fall, but in early 90s. So she was here for almost 50 years.
I know. I just saw a picture of you in the Hartford Business Journal with Marvin and Carol.
Yep.
When was that picture taken?
That was tail end of COVID. Tail end of COVID. Yep. Yeah, and that was before. So the other 3 that we've got on board now, Scott, Sean, and Owen. So he's been in the industry forever. I've known him for now 6-7 years. We were fortunate enough to bring him over. He was working for one of the brokers that we do a lot of work with. He went back to school, got a degree in project management. So we sat down with those guys, had a great conversation, and said, hey, he'd be a great fit for us. It was a really open dialogue conversation, and it's been mutually fantastic.
Now, was that Sean or Scott?
That was Scott. Yep.
So Scott I've emailed with. Sean I just met.
Sean we just brought on about a year and a half ago now, December of 23. He's an absolute workhorse. We brought him on. We really needed the extra hands in the production side of things. So we brought him on. We kind of showed him pretty much anything that's in here. And by the day, as we buy new stuff, Sean's always looking to learn more of that stuff. So he's been an absolute workhorse. And then Owen, same thing. We brought Owen on. We brought Owen on middle of COVID, tail end of COVID, when things were starting to open back up. And we were kind of looking at things going, okay, it's getting busier now. We got to bring somebody on. And it actually worked out. We were out in the parking lot talking to his mom, who's our landlord. And she just happened to say, hey, I've got a son that just finished school. He's looking for a job. Even if it's just part-time, are you open to it? I mean, and it's been the hire of a lifetime now, and the rest is history. So he's been on now almost 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So, yeah. I mean, again, the key has always been the people, without fail. That we talk about the keys, 3 keys. I'll give 2 of them to the people. Nice. Outside of that, I think it goes back to being around as long as we have. When I took over, the short version of it was I had just graduated. And we found out my dad was sick with stage 4 kidney cancer. So I had just graduated in August, went down and worked at Disney through the start of January. By mid-January, we found out he was sick. So I was applying to go do engineering jobs. We found out he was sick, and I said, all right, let's put that on pause. Let's figure out what's going on here. And he ended up passing August of that year. So that transition window was 6 months. I mean, you want to talk about healthy months? 3, maybe 4. And that's where I go back to saying, without the people that were involved here, we wouldn't have made it through. No way. I mean, I was able to rely on the guys that have been here forever, on top of the customer base that not just my dad, but the rest of the guys had built those relationships that really helped us weather that storm. So loyalty from our customer base, which again comes back to just doing good, honest, truthful business with people. So I would say that's key number 3. If we want to do a third individual on number 4, I think it would go back to the in terms of the people, the willingness from our perspective to keep up with technology. I think in our industry, it's really easy. In many industries, this is the case, but really easy to kind of stay complacent with where technology is. But I mean, it's no secret. Most people kind of know the print is dying. I think that our people have bought into the concept. Print is changing. It's changing by the day, and it's changing. I'm sure it'll be different tomorrow than it is today. But the technology and our adoption has really set us up for long-term success.
Nice. So 4 keys. I got to make a note. 4 keys. People for 2.
People for 2.
Longevity. I caught longevity. People. Relationships.
For sure.
And 4th one you threw in was...
I don't remember now.
We don't remember.
West Hartford lock. We need our lock change. We lost a key. Great guys, too. Those guys are awesome.
So our motto, be a good friend. Pick up
Yep.
trash. Hold the door. Give compliments. You know, what makes Dom a good friend? I know you mentioned he's been here a long time.
Long time.
Running around.
Yep. He was another one. He started right out of Conard. He came in, and he what he saw was kind of that culture of being a good friend, wanting to kind of go the extra mile. Dom's a people person, no doubt. He gets to see every day, being one of the front counter guys, the satisfaction of helping people in their projects and understanding. We never know what the end usage of a project is, but we find everything from, it might be something for a simple business occasion to, we'll do a project, come to find out it's going to be a surprise for a kid that's going into surgery. So I know he's thoroughly enjoyed the satisfaction of kind of the outcome of the projects. And he's been key in terms of helping along the way of the behind the scenes stuff. But I know that his gratification from seeing the customer smile, regardless of what the purpose of the project is, has really been that motivating factor.
That's awesome. That's cool that you brought that up. Projects. So we do another game. Your first project, your last project, your best project, and your worst project. Any order you want.
First project I ever did. Let's start there. The first project I did was, unfortunately, one of the last projects I did with my dad, but it's one that I have in my office, where it was just a simple sticker, and it said, "This box is recycled." And it was really the last project that my dad ever did with the shop. So that one's a small but important one to me.
Yeah.
Last project, something we did today. We're actually, one of the new machines we got is a flatbed, so it can do stuff like yard signs, golf balls, tumblers. So we were just working on some cigar boxes where we can print directly on the wood now, which is pretty cool.
Ooh, that's nice.
So that'll be more to come on that front. People know we have it, but we haven't really kind of publicized it quite yet. What were the other 2?
Best and worst.
Best and worst. Best project we've done. Best in what sense?
Could be satisfaction, financially, important to you. Totally up to you.
Best.
How do you
That's tough. I mean,
you do
I
a
think
few.
I,
You got a few? You got a few faves?
I think it more so. Man, that's a million projects are running through my head. In terms of worst, there's really not a ton that we would label as worst. I mean, there's always good days. There's always bad days. I would say best project we've ever done was when I'm trying to think what the circumstance was. We do a lot of stuff with the aerospace groups in the area. So a few times we've had to go on site and kind of hand off some stuff and seeing some of the other facilities. That's one of my favorite parts of the job, is being able to say, "Oh, you need me to come out and see you?" Awesome. I love going out and seeing other facilities. So there's a couple that we handed off to some of the aerospace groups in the area, and just seeing the inside and having a sign that you won't say what you saw. We saw some really cool stuff. I'll leave it at that.
Go on, tell us what you see. What'd you see?
Yeah, right. I saw the exit sign on my way out.
So were you in Raytheon and Pratt & Whitney?
Yeah,
And...
which that whole transition's been interesting. We worked directly with, or I should say indirectly with, a lot of them through Cushman & Wakefield. So Cushman & Wakefield was kind of the managing partner. So a lot of the stuff we would do would end up going through the middleman of Cushman & Wakefield. But the group that was at the copy shop, or the mail room, so to speak, they were good for a lot, but the in-depth nuts and bolts of print, they were not shy to hand off and say, hey, this is completely out of the realm of what I know. We need you to come in and you'll know exactly what the user is looking for. We're just going to know to call you. We're not going to know the actual technology. So we worked with them now for 7 years or so. We've done stuff for them indirectly, but directly we've done it now for about 7 years. So some of the stuff, just to see inside of those facilities, I mean, it's an engineering marvel in some of them. It's just really cool stuff to see.
Oh, and with
So
your
I'm always
background, you're
fascinated.
extra interested,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Okay, because you're a mechanical engineer background.
Mhm.
I see you. All right.
So some of that stuff. In terms of worst project, I mean, nothing really comes to mind as in worst. I think in general, what usually we will find the worst scenario to be will be when everybody's an expert in printing when it's a rush. I'll say that. So whenever something last minute hits our plate, of course we're doing what we can to go above and beyond, but we always remind people we may not be the complete experts, but we know a thing or two about print. Sometimes just trust our judgment, trust our expectations. A lot of people will have these grand visions, and that really goes back to, when I say worst, I use that term loosely because that's where, again, like Dom, I know has a lot of fun in saying, okay, here's your vision, that's great, but let's get that back down into reality. Here's what we can actually do, or here's what we've got tools to provide. Because some of this stuff, quite literally, people envision projects that I don't know that they're even doable at any shop, which is not a bad thing. Again, that goes back to fueling the growth, fueling the vision, understanding, well, what technology can help us get to that point. So I'd say the worst project are the ones where we can't necessarily get to the goal that the customer's looking for, but usually it ends up somewhere. The old, shoot for the moon, land among the stars.
Yeah.
Usually it's something along those lines where, okay, we couldn't get exactly what they're looking for, but we've got a pretty wide range of options. What's your thoughts on XYZ? Most times it'll work out.
And confirm or deny, did you do printing for NASA? True or
Confirm.
false? Wow, that's
I can
awesome.
show you the sticker out there, actually.
What'd you do? How'd you do it?
It was critical space component stickers that had to go on a lot of their shipments. During COVID, we kicked up a lot of government bid work. There's a lot of really cool projects. The problem we run into, and I would say this is probably the case for a lot of the government work out there that is product-based, is it's a race to zero. Everyone thinks it's a cool project, so everyone goes in at the absolute lowest price. So we don't do a ton of it. We do some stuff for government contracts, but generally, you basically got to be giving the stuff away. Which
Because they
when
go
you
with
win,
the lowest bidder.
right, they almost always shop on price, not quality, relationship. Which again, from our business model's perspective, we're building relationships, not just filling an Excel sheet. So a lot of those projects, it's like you really have to have razor thin margins. And what we found is other areas of our business, other projects suffered because we couldn't devote the equipment power, the mental capacity, just kind of that human touch factor. It was suffering because we were just strictly focusing on volume on razor thin margins. Really, that stuff you got to do a ton of it to make it worth it.
Yeah.
And we found it was kind of harming our mantra of, I mean, our through and through kind of area is short run, short turnaround. You need a handful of something and you need it right now. That's where we're strong. That's where
Gotcha.
we're strongest.
And some other Fortune 500 companies, you got a list of a couple more? Do you know any?
Yeah. So, I mean, right now we do a lot of booklets and training manuals. So a lot of those for some of the bigger groups end up in the hands. I mean, we've done stuff. We just did one actually recently for all the Major League Baseball stadiums. So we sent every team in the league. MLB Network in partnership had a whole bunch of different materials, but we shipped all the different locations. We shipped all 50 states, Canada, Mexico, a decent amount of international work. Google, we just sent some stuff out to California, Apple. So some of the bigger places. Usually most of the big companies that we work with are either indirect through brokers or the end customer of somebody that we're working with. So a lot of times these big companies don't even know that we're doing their stuff for them. There are a handful that we do directly, but the majority of stuff we find is broker work.
And when you're giving me a tour, that's awesome. That's so interesting. And I don't know if this might have been off the record, but I'm going to ask anyway. IRT or ART?
I.T.A.R.
I.T.A.R.
Yep.
What does that stand for?
I'm going to botch it. International I.T.A.R, International Trade Arms Regulation, something
Okay.
along those lines. Yeah. So a lot of the aerospace work that we do, there's a pretty large call out there for protected work that can't just simply be sent over an email. So we're working on a couple of different things right now. Certifications, we got to have physical areas that are barriered by security measures. So we're kind of going through the beginning phases of becoming I.T.A.R certified so that we can chase some of that work where there's a huge shortage of supply within Connecticut.
Yeah, because it's in 2 places, not in Connecticut. Where are they?
The 2 main ones that we find when we get a call for it are up by the Cape or down in New Jersey. So being that Connecticut's got as much manufacturing as a whole, specifically in either aerospace or even some of the, like Colt, for example. Colt's right here in West Hartford. They've got work that they need to send out of state because there's nobody in state that can be certified to do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, we're in Cape Cod. I go there all the time.
Don't know.
You don't know?
I haven't been out there. I just know whenever they call, every time the customer calls and says, I need it today and I don't have time to go to the Cape, I'm like,
Gotcha.
bummer.
And tell us about the time, if you can, someone came to watch you print something, like a security clearance watched you print just to make sure.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah,
too.
so there's some of that work where it's protected work.
So you know top secrets.
I don't know a darn thing. I know none of it. Or that's what they told me to say. So some of that work, I mean, from a timing perspective, some of it's super important. You got officials coming from all over the place. And they just need the stuff. It's one of those, I don't care what the price is. We simply need this done right now. So we've had a couple instances where people will come in and say, okay, we got to lock the doors. We've got some files with us. We're going to take your specific machine off of the network, drop our files on there, produce it. We're going to take it. You're going to sign off that you didn't retain any files, and off they go. But, and again, it comes from a shortage within the state of places that have that clearance. And I know there are a couple that have it within the state, but are very select in who they work based on contract work.
Sounds like the show Homeland or something, you know? I like NCIS or it's another show.
If you ever drive by with the lights are on at like 2 or 3 a.m., don't knock. Chances are we're doing some of that stuff.
Got it. I like it. You heard it here first. That's awesome. Oh, and based on your... Back to something, I'm trying to get some exclusives. So you do wide format flatbed printing. That was the signs and the you do interactive e-commerce.
Yep.
Now is that when, like I asked, can Friends of Feeney get a site on your page?
That's what
and
we're working
sell all
on right
Friends
now.
of Feeney stuff that you're working on.
That's exactly what we're working on.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's one of the big things
Can we
that
be your
Scott
first?
and I, definitely.
We'll be your guinea pig.
There we go. Yeah, so a lot of what we find, a lot of the work we do is repeat stuff. So, I mean, we still get the fair amount of, okay, it's a brand new project. We've never done it before. A huge chunk of what we do is stuff that it's like clockwork. After 6 months, reorder it. After 6 months, reorder it. We're working on a solution with our new website that'll allow people to go in. We're talking actually right now to West Hartford Solar. I don't know if you've worked with him yet. Great group of guys. They're awesome.
Is that Dan Hovey?
Yeah.
It is?
Yep.
I know Dan.
So he one of the things that he wants is he's got a whole bunch of salespeople that'll go out and they need some sort of new employee kit. So they'll have a polo, they'll have a hat. There's a whole bunch of different materials. He wants to set it and forget it, give those individuals access. So when they go on our website and they log in, they can see the t-shirt, the hoodie.
Oh, they get their beginner bag?
Right, exactly.
Starter kit.
And it's only specific for them. He doesn't necessarily want other people to buy it, but he wants his people to go on, purchase it, and it'll show up. So to be able to offer that really is kind of that rinse and repeat, where once we set it up once, you're golden. Which kind of ties well to when we were talking about all the empty space in our building. We're kind of working on using that for fulfillment. That's a great example where if he wants to order, or anyone wants to order 100 t-shirts or whatever it may be, but they only need 10 of them right now. Great, order the 100, get the bulk discount, and then we'll release it as needed to wherever it's going. We ship twice a day, every day.
Someone who wants 10,000 packets, but only wants 1,000 at a time.
Right.
That's the fulfillment services.
Exactly.
That's why we're getting hopefully get some extra room.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And that pairs really well with the website stuff because they can go in, filter by whatever they're looking for, and then release it. And at that point, all we really need at that point is the shipping address.
Very cool. Eco-friendly product lines. Eco-friendly, like biodegradable, like paper.
Yep. Which paper's the obvious one. We're getting more and more into the nitty-gritty of the technology, so to speak. We had for years, the offset press was kind of claim to fame, so to speak, where it was the traditional offset inks. It was, you walk into any print shop, say 15, 20 years ago, and that very distinct smell that hits you.
Yeah.
Chances are that was some form of offset. We got rid of our offset press about 2 years ago now. And we got into an inkjet, which is water-based inks, which are different. I wouldn't say it's even better or worse than offset. It's almost too hard to compare the two. But in terms of the eco side, much friendlier. No harsh chemicals, which has been tremendous for us. We're even finding to the point where a lot of our equipment actually runs better as a result of not having the offset press in here anymore. The vapors that it gave off, the VOCs,
would affect the other machines. Wow,
big time.
interesting.
Yep. And then going back to
So these
some
are
of the
all
different,
eco-friendly.
everything, yeah, yep. And then even the toners that we use now, which are like the plastic base, a lot of them have a component of corn, actually. Same thing, actually, with the later or newer offset inks transition. So a lot of it is either soy-based or corn components to it. And then in terms of the materials that we can do now, the range of stuff is just unbelievable now compared to what it used to be. And that really goes towards the evolution of a lot of the equipment, where, like I just said, we can print on cardboard boxes now, where it's a water-based ink. We can print on all kinds of different wood. We're working on a sticker project right now where it's a thin layer of bamboo, so we can print directly on it. It's all biodegradable, which is great.
That's awesome. And then you had a big secret that you're not ready to share yet. Can you share it on the podcast? An exclusive. Come on, give us something.
I got a couple secrets, so
Drop
which
something.
one are we talking?
You alluded to it in the Hartford Business Journal article on 5/5.
Which one? Which?
It ended with big secret, not ready to
Oh.
share. Come on, give me something.
Well, I'll give you one. I'll give you the first
yeah,
secret.
Let's go.
First secret is where I'm having a baby at the end of the month.
Okay.
So there's the big secret. Anything else is less than that. So yeah, we're having a baby. Wife and I, Brittany, we're having a baby on. Right now it's May 27th, but that may shift up to the 19th. So we're
like May, like in a couple
like
days.
in like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So we're right
So
there.
you've known about this for a while.
Yeah, we have, but it's been
For like 9 months,
under
you've known
wraps.
about
Yeah,
this.
pretty much. 8 and change.
Brittany, congratulations. Boy,
Yep.
girl, do you know?
Girl, Indy Rose.
Indie Row. And you got the name already, too.
Yep.
I love it.
Wasting
Girl
no
dad,
time.
let's go.
Right? First baby.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So that's the biggest secret.
Yep.
Cat's out of the bag. Other than that, a lot of the secrets now stem from a website, which was the big one that it's officially live right now, soft launch. So there's still a couple things we're working on. One of the big tools that it's now also live has been for a lot of the different stickers. So it's a tool where you can go in, you can drop a logo. It's going to provide you with a cut line. So one of our biggest delays is we didn't have an on-staff graphic designer. We've got a couple freelance guys that they're tremendous. We have nothing but good things to say about them, but we only have them some days. We only have them 2 days a week, 3 days a week, depending on their workload elsewhere. So one of our big hangups has always been if we get a project and artwork has to be done, if we catch them on the wrong day, it's like, yeah, we'll have artwork ready in 3 days. It's not the end of the world in most cases, but being that we're always short turnaround guys, saying on a rush project we need 3 days just to get artwork set up has always been kind of that's a problem.
Yeah.
So that is officially, we'll say there's probably 10 steps involved on the website front. We've got probably 3 live. The rest, there's some really cool stuff that I can't share yet, but
All right. We're getting it out
it's
of you.
coming along, and it's going to be big stuff for hopefully everyone involved. Our side, it's going to make production easier. The customer side, it's going to make things hopefully a whole heck of a lot easier.
Well, I want to thank you. You got into it. We're going to do a little show and tell. You know, I'm a teacher. I love this. This is a cup. So this is our second. We had a glow-in-the-dark green one that were a huge hit. As you can see, it bends.
Silly
Perfect
pints.
for the beach or pool. I said peach. Pool or beach. Look at that. What are they called?
The silly pints.
Silly pints. So that was good. These were a hit. Sold out quickly. The glow-in-the-dark ones were amazing. But the white ones are great too.
Glow-in-the-dark, when you can find them, they're hard to find. They are hard to find blanks.
Oh, okay, good. And then you did our newest. We have a mural in Parkville Market up in the local, designed by Rise Up and our friends Zoe, Tegan, Hannah, and Jack did this. As you can see, Starry Night, and our friend from Rise Up, and It was awesome. So we got these printed. These are on sale too at the Daily Grind in Farmington, right over there. So check them out. They're $8. We're doing a little fundraiser. Thank you, Zoe, Jack, Tegan, and Hannah. And that's you made these. You made our business cards. Look at that. Now I want to thank you because these business cards, if we go to a lot of chamber events have fish bowls.
Yep.
One of our team gets picked almost every time.
Really?
Jen, Matt, Marty, or myself.
Lucky. It's got to be
because
the shape.
of the shape.
It's got to be.
It's that unique shape. But as you can see, it's like Eric Feeney, founder. It has our mission. Our mission is to help children and families who need assistance after heartbreak or tragedy. I love it. It's really just good quality. The cut is nice, as the circle's nice and even. The font is great. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
What else we got? Stickers. Look at that. So this was awesome. You gave us, I want to say 5,000, 2,000.
A crazy amount, yeah.
2,000 for the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Yep.
And we handed them out everywhere. So I always say Park Road, but the St. Patrick's Day parade is an amazing event. It was beautiful weather. We go down by the Bushnell. It's family friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Then we cut the corner. Then you start to see downtown. It gets progressively more like spring break in Cancun. And by the time you hit Black Eye Sally's and the other spot, it's like
free for all.
Pretty raunchy. But anyway, these we passed out everywhere. And our website, we checked hits.
Mm-hmm.
We had 1,000 hits in one day, like maybe 2,000. We went from averaging like 7 to 10.
Yep.
We had a bar graph, and it was like boom, the
Through
spike.
roof.
So everyone looked these up.
I remember
huge
after
hit.
the parade, there were at least 4 people that I knew from either high school or college that posted on their Facebook, and I'm like, hey, I did that.
Really?
Hey, I did that. After like the 3rd or 4th, I'm like, I feel like they're targeting me. I mean, I know this is you guys, but I kept seeing specifically the sticker. I'm like, wow, how many of those did we do? I think it was 5,000.
We gave one out to every person that was in attendee. And then if I saw like a student of mine or a friend, I'm like, here, pass these out
Hand
to your
these
friends.
out.
Give a stack. Like,
Hand
I
them
don't
out.
have time to give them. Here, I trust you. Be a good friend. Pass them out. So very cool. And it worked. I was like shocked that we have data to prove that passing out these stickers raised awareness and visibility to our website and to our brand. So I want to thank you. And look at that good
Absolutely.
quality. I didn't know. I thought it was going to be a challenge because it was not like a flat color.
Right.
But you had every detail because these kids made it themselves. Julie from Rise Up was
Mm-hmm.
the other person. She was the main person. And Zoe, Jack, and Hannah and Tegan were, touching it up. Yeah, right in the local. So check it out. And right at Daily Grind, if you want these, we have a Square app. But again, the business cards are great. Recently went to this pancake breakfast. I tried to find mine. You did our 50th podcast at Playhouse on Park. Color copy,
Right. Yep.
Beautiful quality. And I looked everywhere. I was like in my basement. I'm like, I know I have the brochure somewhere. Couldn't find it. But I recently went to this. But you can see good quality. The staple. Got the front page. They paid big bucks for that. Let's see. Show you another.
It's always amazing to see with the different programs.
Boom. You know that guy?
I've heard of him. Heard he's a good guy.
He's a good friend. No, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
With programs, it's always amazing the number of supporters that we see. It doesn't matter the event. Like I can tell you, Keating's one. You guys are another. It's like every single program we do, we flip through. You're gonna see the same like 5 or 6 logos. It's crazy.
No, Keating they're extremely
They're
generous.
everywhere. They're
extremely.
awesome.
They sponsor little league teams, sporting
Yep.
teams, any event, any fundraiser. You said you're getting into that this year. The event down in June, Celebrate West Hartford.
Yep.
Keating's always in.
Yep.
That's really exciting. No, Keating's
It
awesome.
is fun. Every time we do a program, we always go through, and I always find I don't pick up on typos. That's one thing. People always think somebody will come back to us after we printed something, be like, "You made a typo." It's like, no, we just printed it. We didn't make any typos. Most times, we don't even read what it says.
Okay.
Usually, we'll thumb through. We're looking for quality. We're looking at the print
Image,
technical
yeah.
things, but we could be staring a major typo right in the face. We don't even realize it. But usually we'll go through and we'll look at the logos and be like, oh, this person's supporting again. Oh, this person, they were in this booklet last year too.
Yeah, my daughters were in an event at Bristow, a play.
Yep.
You did that one.
Yep.
You do all the schools too, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Especially this time of year is the graduation yard signs. Most of the schools, if not already, most of them in the next couple of weeks will say, hey, we need graduation signs. Which that was another thing during COVID. We never did, and it's really gone crazy now.
The yard signs are a hit.
Big time.
Yep. Speaking of yard signs, we had the ones with the white. We were on rectangulars.
Yep.
But now, come on, dude. You're good. We had the regulars, but now you cut the oval.
Right.
And I had my buddy Rob was like, hey, I want the cut oval one.
Yep.
I don't want the rectangular one with the white.
Yep.
So that was a wonderful idea. And it was
like the golf ball ones too for the golf tournament, right? Weren't those cut to circle?
Yep.
Cut to the shape of a golf ball?
That was on brand too. That was perfect. Oh yeah. Our signs every hole.
Yep.
It was a golf ball.
Yep.
Perfect circle. Yeah. So that's cool. It adds a little flair, a little extra.
Right.
So thank you for that. These are nice too. I got to get some reflective. What are these guys?
Beer coasters.
Beer coasters. Beer coasters. More beer coasters. So you got. This one feels like waterproof, right?
Yeah, most of them are, unless you go with one of the crazy eco ones. Which even some of the even the ones that are not necessarily paper, some of them are.
Yeah, and I did notice I send stuff through the washing machine. The sticker stays.
Yep.
Good quality stuff here.
I think you guys did the temporary tattoos too.
Ooh.
And those stay on for quite a while.
Those were a hit. That was 2 years ago. And my foolish, don't have any tats. Do you have any tats?
Nope.
No tats. So I'm like, it was to be a good friend. So I'm like, oh, let me slap it on my neck.
Jeez.
And then for days, I'm
Scratching
scrubbing.
it, yeah.
But it came off.
Eventually.
And I was like, oh, this is great.
Oops.
But
don't make that mistake twice.
Then I was like, at least I didn't get a real tattoo.
Yeah, right.
We got to do that again. Tattoos. We're
going
to
new
march.
logo. We'll do some.
Yeah, we're marching in the. We're really expanding into Bristol now, so we're doing the
cool.
Mum Fest parade.
Yep.
Because unfortunately, Park Road parade's not happening anymore. That's sad.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
This is the first year, right?
Yeah.
This is the first year.
That's not cool. Not cool. But
it's not too late to bring it back.
Let's do it. They need a new team.
Start fresh, new faces.
Me and you.
Let's do it.
We'll refurnish up top.
There we go.
We got ideas for up here too. Wonderful tour. But I keep this in my car. This is my go-to.
Scratch pads.
Scratch pad is perfect. And I want to. Recommendations usually come at the end, but this pen, an erasable pen, means the world to me. You know how many errors and how sloppy my handwriting is. To erase a pen, because I wrote you that thank you
works
card,
well.
right? Full true story. Usually I'm writing like 4 cards. I'm like, oh, I made a spelling error, or my spacing's not well.
Hand cramp.
Now it's just like erase.
Yep. And it works well.
It's so cool. So I highly suggest these erasable pens, and it's like good quality.
Yeah.
My students love them. These are huge prizes. One kid was like, Mr. Feeney, if you're going, can you get some for our prize box? These kids will sit like
best behavior.
It's like the best prize ever. So thank you so much for that.
Minor victories. There's nothing better.
And then you mentioned golf balls.
Yep.
Printing golf balls. Well, our golf tournament, September 13th at Tunks. This is our 4th annual. You did our yard signs, but we would love to have some golf balls done.
Definitely. I'll
Now,
do them
do
and I'll
we
bring
get
them and I'll play this year.
Oh, you should play. You got to play. September 13th. How's your game? Perfect
I'm gonna need
for
to
a
bring
scramble.
more balls if that's the case.
Perfect for a scramble. That's great. Anything you like to share about Cricket Press? You think I covered everything? Is there something I haven't?
I mean, like I said, the biggest thing I go back to is kind of in tandem to be a good friend. It's just,
Yep.
The people have really been the key here. I cannot stress enough the success that we have had as a result of the people. It really comes down to that. So, I mean, even with this award through the SBA, it's great. It's fun for me to see some recognition, a lot of that stuff, but I also know that it's nothing without the people. I mean, really, the tip of the cap goes to the team, 100%.
How many of the team are going to the event?
None. Limited.
You better
Limited.
work, Owen.
Limited tickets. Yep. So Britt and I will be going. both days. So they're doing the main award event is on Thursday, and then there's a lunch on Friday.
Oh wow, where is it?
The lunch is, I believe, in Bristol. I don't even know.
Very nice, man. That's amazing. So yeah, small business of the year. You got to get a sign.
Family business.
Are you gonna get family?
Family business.
Family
of the
owned
year.
small business.
Yep. Through the Small Business Administration.
Wow.
Yep.
So cool. I had envelopes too. You did envelopes for us too, but I had the envelopes. I had the brochure.
Like I said, if you think it, we ink it.
You think it, you ink it. And how big can your poster be?
We can do on our machine 54 inches by however long the material comes. So we can do some, depending on the material, like banners is a good example, where we, for the town, a lot of people have an event. You'll go through, what is that, South Main intersection, North Main, Farmington Ave, where those big banners are.
Are those yours?
Yeah. So we do them, and those are
We're going to need
routine.
one of those, actually.
Routine. Everybody comes to us and like, I don't really know what the information. Don't worry about it. We do it often enough, and those are 24 feet long.
Jeez.
24 feet long, 3 feet tall.
And you put the little holes in them so the wind doesn't catch.
Yep. The slits, grommets every foot. Routine.
We need, you made one nice for our parades.
Yep.
It took a beating, so I'm going to need one of those. I got a list of
for the
things.
pole pocket.
Golf
You put
balls.
a wooden dowel through it.
Ooh, we need one of those, yes.
Yep.
And we also got a little new logo, different font. So we'll get some new logos on that.
Definitely.
Man, yeah, I want to thank you for being a good friend. And I want to say, I think the brochures you did for free for my 50th podcast, too. So that has to be said that you're very thoughtful, generous, and you support local businesses and local nonprofits. So
Sure.
huge. It means the world. Thank you so much.
Shop local.
Shop local. Family-owned business right here. Now, let's talk about a couple things, fun facts here. We got fun facts about Greg portion of the event. So I want to thank you. Every day when I go to work, I see these beautiful bluebirds. You know where I'm going with this? Where am I going? Where am I going with
Boy
this?
Scouts. Troop 163.
Yes. So why and how do I see bluebirds on my way to work?
Yep. So that was when I was a sophomore, junior year. I was finishing up Troop 163 Boy Scouts here in West Hartford. My Eagle Scout project was to construct bluebird houses, which I came up with the project. I don't remember how we ended up on that because we were talking about other styles, but specifically the bluebird. I don't know about now, but 12 years ago when that was 13 years ago, the population of the bluebird specifically was plummeting in the state. And a large portion of it is they're very particular on the type of nest that they make. Not so much the nest, it's more so the housing. So we looked into and we did a lot of the research of what type of bluebird house specifically does the construction need to be. And we put them up. We put them up all over town, but specifically the majority of them we put up at Wolcott Park. So we put up, I forget, it was probably 50 birdhouses.
Do you know where they are?
They're scattered all over the property.
All over. All right, I'm going to go look now.
Yeah, most of them were within the children's forest.
In the forest.
In the forest, back by the baseball field, the tennis courts, the basketball courts. I know some of them.
And they're not painted for a reason.
Correct. Very particular. And it was the shape of them. It's basically, it looks like a shoebox with a hole on the front, but the roof was on an angle that any less of an angle, bluebirds won't go in. Any more of an angle, the bluebirds won't go in. So it was very specific, and we had everything. Everything for the project was donated. Kind of part of the mission was to kind of go around, talk to different organizations, groups. The town donated a lot of the posts, the poles themselves. So
they're on posts.
Yeah,
they're not on the trees.
Some of them were. Most of them were on posts.
I'm gonna walk my dog over there, and I
drive
to work every day.
I know there are still some up, but
bluebirds
a lot
are chirping.
They are. They're back.
Who was your troop leader?
Steve Zukowski.
Okay.
So Steve, his son, John Z, he actually worked with us for the last couple of years. So he and I were buddies growing up forever, neighborhood buddies. And then when we were seniors or juniors, when we both finished our project, that's when John Z's dad stepped out. But yeah, John Z, after graduation, he was with us for about 2 years. He's he's a reservist for the Coast Guard.
Oh, nice.
So he left us last January, went out to Seattle, worked out there, and he actually just came back. So on and off. He's kind of, when we say we have 7 or 8 people, he's kind of that middle ground. We 7.5. Because of John Z.
John Z. Not Dr. K, not Plato?
He
Was somehow involved?
he was, yeah. So he was who I worked with at the school. He was kind of the pioneer of what areas
Gotcha.
would be
Because he was the
protected.
principal at the
Yep,
time.
exactly.
Yeah, I
Yep.
lived across the street from him.
Oh, cool.
That's how I got hired.
Gotcha.
Went to him. I'm like, hey, I was driving to Waterbury. I'm like, hey, Dr. K, I'm a third grade teacher. You know, any openings? No, sorry. I said, I'll paint your house. I'll mow your lawn. I got someone for that.
Mhm.
And then like 5 years later, he's like, I got good news, bad news. Good news is I can get you an interview. Bad news, I'm retiring. So
Right,
I
and that
never
was-
worked for him.
That was, when was that?
2014.
So that would have been, yeah, shortly after. Yeah, because he was there about a year and a half, 2 years later. We went back. We actually did some upkeep and maintenance, and that was right when he was finishing.
Cool. He's a good guy. I like him a
Definitely.
lot.
Definitely.
And what about your on base percentage? 1,000. You have
Senior year.
1,000 on
In
base
college,
percentage.
yeah. So my senior year ended tragically. Senior year, we were having a spring training game in Boston. It was February 16th. Named a captain. I batted second. I walked, stole second base, and then on a base hit up the middle. Rounding third base, I folded my knee sideways. Torn ACL, torn meniscus, cracked my femur. College baseball over. So it was 1,000 because I got on my
Wow.
one at bat.
Okay.
We'll leave it to Boston baseball in February. There was that game, actually, the entire interior perimeter of the field, the fence, had about 1.5 feet of snow. So pregame, we're literally out there shoveling snow to clear the field.
So it's hard as can be, slippery.
Oh, yeah.
Cleats aren't doing
And it was,
well.
it was my own mistake. I wore metal cleats, and it was a turf field, which is it's a no-no. But it was either that or sneakers, and I'm like, I don't want to slip. Sneakers.
But you scored.
I scored. I army crawled. I scored. I was safe, and that was a wrap on the career.
Are you serious?
Yep.
What grade were you in?
That was senior year of college. Senior year of
I was
college.
wondering why you had one. Your stat line
Yep.
is 1-1-1-1
Yep.
and 1,000. Wow.
Didn't even get a hit.
This is a
I
great
walked.
story.
I walked, stole second, and then the first pitch. It was like the 5th pitch of our season. Base hit up the middle. I'm coming around third, and the knee just folds sideways.
Do you have plates and screws and stuff?
Yep. Right knee.
Oh, that's horrible.
And that was spring of senior year of college. So I was nothing but a blast trying to walk around campus for the rest of spring. Do all the senior activities, and I'm walking around on crutches. Don't mind me. I'll catch up.
So that's Wentworth Institute of Technology.
Correct.
And
Yep.
what was your mascot?
The Leopards.
Oh,
Yep.
you're like, that's a great story. That's like Field of Dreams. Moonlight Graham, you had one at bat.
It was, it was fun.
You were a
though.
captain too?
I was a
That's
captain.
awesome. Congrats. That's
Yep.
so cool.
It was, it really provided a different perspective because I knew it was, hate to say a helpless feeling for the rest of the year, but it really was in the sense. But I still went to all the games, practices, pretty much everything kind of operated as if I was on the team because it was, it's cliche to say, it's like any sports team. You're like brothers out there. But from my perspective, I couldn't do anything between the lines. There was nothing I could do. So starting with West Hartford Youth League and T-ball and everything else, work towards that season, gone in one pitch.
Darn. Not cool. But that's an interesting stat line, though. It lasts forever, and it had a great story. I was so wondering, like, oh, what happened here? Did he get up?
Tragedy.
Oh,
But I scored, like you said. I was safe.
you were safe. That's all that really matters. I usually ask favorite moment with a friend or favorite moment with a teacher, but due to time, I want to skip. And I know your dad, Tim, was very important to you. Do you want to share some favorite memories?
Yeah. Really the first memory I have being here was actually at the old shop. And it's actually working on an account that we still currently service. So we've been when the company name's Moab, Management of Aggressive Behavior. We've been with them for 30 plus years now. And I remember I was pretty much, like I said, sweeping up, taking the trash out. And the first project I ever did was working on these training manuals, which they're one of the groups that we send all over the country for. And even actually out of the country now as well. And I distinctly remember working on this project. And it really was a small project at the time, but it was kind of the first moment I ever had of recognizing or idolizing my dad for what he was doing. And again, I was so little, I didn't really even know what was going on. I was probably 8, 7, something like that. That was about when I started. And then over the years, again, the amount of fun that we had traveling and going to trade shows and stuff like that, it's something I wouldn't trade those memories for anything. I would do anything to get them back or have even one more. But man, we had a lot of fun together over the years working here. And again, at the time, I didn't have any intentions of taking over. It was never even in the cards. It was something I didn't really even consider as an option because I always viewed it as Dad's thing. It was always, no, that's what he does. And I love helping. And then once we found out he was sick, it was more and more real that, okay, wait a minute, he is human and the business has to either go on or we stay involved somehow. And it's been a lot of fun for me since his passing. Interesting to say fun in his passing in the same sentence, but for me to hear the stories secondhand from all the customers that have come in and said, oh, I worked with your dad for 20 years. Oh, I worked with him for 30 years. Great guy. Great. I mean, I've heard it more and more times. It warms my heart hearing how everyone else perceived him. And that's honestly what makes it a lot of fun for me and kind of a motivating factor going forward to continue, not only do the best that I can, but do it in honor and recognition and kind of within the footsteps of how he ran the business. And again, with the guys being here as long as they have, there's a reason that they've been here this long, up to when I started. And now I like to think at least that I'm hopefully helping enable those guys to feel the same way they did with him and wanting to work here, kind of making that culture fun, professional, challenging, all while still serving the client and putting smiles on the customer's face. So that's we had a lot of fun. That's for sure.
That's important. All right. Wonderful to hear you. He's a legend. So
I did pull too a picture of when that was.
Oh yeah. Let's see it. Hold it to the camera. We'll share it up too.
So that was at the old shop.
Wow.
Working on one of the light tables. So it says, doesn't say the year on there. Yeah. So this is when we were on Sedgwick Road. So that's me looking into the machine. So this was probably 2nd grade, 3rd grade, maybe somewhere in that range. And that was really right around the age of when I first remember being involved at the shop.
You got any more to share?
I think actually we've got,
is that Marvin?
That's Marvin.
Marvin.
Way back when. We've got all kinds of pictures. We used to get flooding down in that building like no other. I think there was one of Dom too. Let's see. That was Bill Teasdale. So his wife, Carol, was the one that she was our bookkeeper up to the last few years. So there's Dom. Way back when.
Look at that good-looking dude.
Yep.
His hair is actually brown. Wow.
Way back when. Yeah, so it's amazing to really look through some of the old pictures that we still have. There's one of the other guys. But yeah, to go through the history, that's where to hear a lot of the stories. And again, I can't thank enough the guys that have been here since the beginning. I mean, Dom, like I said, started right out of high school. Marvin's been here 40 years. I mean, you just don't hear of people working somewhere for 40 years. And he's still here. He's learned all kinds of different equipment that if you asked him 40 years ago, do you think he'll ever be running XYZ? That stuff didn't even exist now.
Seen a definite progression.
So for him to continue to take on the challenge of learning the evolution of the business, I hope he finds it fun. And I think after 40 years, he probably does, considering he's still doing it.
Still here.
Yep.
Wow. So that's amazing. Yeah, I'm glad we got to learn a little more about Greg and Cricket Press. Again, they're at 236 Park Road. Where did Cricket come from? Cricket Press. Why Cricket?
Dom could do better justice. Marv, too. Both of them could tell the story better. But when we originally were on LaSalle Road, down in the basement, a couple units over from like where Penzi Spices currently is, at the time, the business was called X, the letter X Press. Well, they had just started. They weren't getting a lot of foot traffic. They were in a basement, so people didn't really know they were there. So Bill and a couple of other guys went out on LaSalle Road and Farmington Ave. They were kind of walking around the center, and they pretended not to work there. And they would say to people, what do you think that place is? And everyone thought the same thing. X Press. Oh, it's got to be an adult movie or adult magazine company. Well, that's why, didn't fit in with the rest of the environment of what the center is. So they said, in that moment, done. We're no longer named that. And Cricket happened to be what they came up with in a couple hours. But they were like, effective today, that name is gone.
Very cool. All right. Always wondering that. But a shout out on one episode 128, minute 30, we talked about the Rotary Club. You did their brochures and their flyers. Helen and Caesar left you a nice Google review. They were episode 126. Lucid Productions. Jason Bush left you a nice one. So, no, great stuff. Again, nice chatting. We're going to see some machines, right?
Definitely.
What machine are we going to see?
We're going to take a look at, we've got a label press, the 2 wide formats, and then one of our color production machines that does Swiss Army knife, does a little bit of everything.
Can't wait. All right. This is like Mr. Rogers going behind the scenes. I made a pizza at Luna Pizza with Alex. I'm get to go behind the scenes with Greg.
There we go.
You're a real man now. You're going to be a dad, so I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. Congratulations on being Family Business of the Year. Small Business of the Year. Family-owned Small Business of the Year. Thank you so much for your support. Your continued support truly means the world to our nonprofit. You're a good friend, so thank you so much, and I had a great time talking with you. We shot for 50 minutes with Feeney. We're probably at 60. So on 3, we'll say, be a good friend. 1, 2, 3. Be a good friend. Behind the scenes look here at Cricket Press. We're with the Roland machine. Please talk about this.
All right, so this is a Roland VG3 540. So this is the 3rd generation of the machine. We used to have the VG2. Great machine, just time to upgrade it. It's a 54-inch wide, so we can do a wide range of things, ranging from paper-based posters. We can do banners, a lot of different sticker materials that can go in there. So it's eco-solvent-based inks. We've got CMYK, which is a traditional, like any home printer will have those 4 traditional colors. And then we've also got orange, light cyan, which is blue, and a light magenta, which just really helps us hit some of those precise colors. We get a good amount of fine art that comes in for museums, different groups that they have very specific color that they're aiming for. So this really allows us to kind of hit that wide range of stuff. We also talked about doing some of the banners throughout town, whether it's birthday, whether it's an event, something like that. This will allow us to print on vinyl and a couple other different types of materials that are going to withstand water, humidity, stuff like that. So it's a versatile machine. It's what we call large format. It's our roll fed. So this only will do stuff that comes on rolls, the paper, the vinyl, stuff like that.
Is this used daily?
Yep, this is something we use pretty much every day, especially as we get more and more into the stickers. There's such a wide range and application of what we can do with this. Really, by the day when we first got it, we pretty much were only using it for blueprints. And there's still a good calling for that, for sure, but we have definitely found more and more in the adhesives. We do a fair amount of decals that go on yard signs. So that's, by the day, kind of getting larger and larger in what we use it for. So it's should start up shortly. Warming up, got it. Yeah, so then they have these machines in all different types. The other thing that's nice about this particular one for us is we've got what's called a contour cutting blade in there. So when we go to do a lot of those stickers, the print head, we'll see shortly, the print head travels back and forth in there as it's printing. Starts over at that end on the carriage, and then off of that can actually come a specific blade. So that blade will do circle shape or rectangle or whatever shape you're looking to accomplish. It's got a built-in blade, and it'll cut out the individual shape of whatever you're trying to cut down to final size. We've had this now about a year. Roland had a tremendous program where they did a buyback program where we had one of the old ones and they gave us a pretty good credit towards a new one. And we actually ended up keeping the old one, but space is an issue around here, so we didn't end up keeping both. So it's about a year old. But the technology itself, the VG3 line, is relatively new. With the VG2, which was our previous model, we actually went ahead and upgraded the inks, it was a huge step up just to hit those colors. It actually was improved drying time, so the ink is wet, and when it comes out, this machine does a much better, or this line of inks, the TR2 inks, do a much better job of drying.
Now, how much of your green packet will a Friends of Feeney magnet take up?
Not a lot. So the software will actually tell us when we bring in a file, it'll actually tell us exactly how much ink's going to be used. A lot of shops will actually factor in their pricing. We don't bother. I mean, you talk about splitting hairs because of how little it truly uses. If we were to do the Feeney logo at this particular size, we could probably do a couple hundred of them before we would run out of inks. So it sips. It does a great job.
Now, is this a sticker, poster?
This particular one, this is a poster based on, it's a poster stock I believe we've got in there. Yeah, that's the poster stock. Some of the other machines we're going to show you also do the adhesive, so we're going to do a couple other stickers.
Well, I failed to mention in the podcast, we have some upcoming events. So please join us at Bingo, May 16th at Raymore and Flanagan. That's Bingo at May 16th. We have our Hartford Athletic game on June 6th. We have our Yard Goats game on August 15th. We have our 4th annual golf tournament, which you'll see some cricket yard signs and balls at Tunxus, 4th annual on September 13th. And also I'm collaborating with our neighbors over here, A.C. Peterson. You will see a menu item. I'm thinking fries of Feeney. Like and share in the comments if you like that idea. Fries of Feeney. I won that at a wonderful Pop Rocks Playhouse on Park fundraiser. It was awesome. It was a great gift. I had to win it. And wife's not happy, but I won. I'm adding a menu. So A.C. Peterson, you will be hearing from me. Fries of Feeney, and we're going to dip them in ice cream. You ever dip your fries in ice cream?
I'm lactose intolerant, but I've been known.
We'll get you that pill to take that, you know.
He's got all the secrets, being alumni of Peterson's. Milk.
We'll do milkshake. Smart. I was going to have it whipped, the ice cream, or a milkshake would work. All right, we're doing fries of Feeney. Dip it in your milkshake. You heard it here. Thanks, Owen. Friends of Owen. Look at this thing. It's beautiful.
All right.
Wow. It's beautiful.
A little tacky still.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't touch it.
But that was, so if you reach your hand under here, there's a flat bed here. You'll feel it's nice and hot.
Nice.
So that's used, the heat on that is used to open the pores of the sheet so the ink seeps in, dries much quicker that way. So that was also an improvement that they added, is the heated bed.
I just learned something new. I never would think that you need to heat the paper, open the pores, so the ink can go in.
Yep.
Wow. That's why it looks so pretty.
Fancy.
Hold it
No,
up.
we should be good too. I'll grab.
Look at that. Perfect print here at Cricket Press, thanks to our rolling machine. Look at that. 54 inches. Pores are opened up nice so the ink goes in. Good humidity on this print. Cricket Press.
There it is. Clean.
We're here at the Logo Jet Plus. Oh no, the Logo Jet UVX40R Plus. That's a mean machine. What do you think? Tell us about it.
So this machine is a flatbed up to 24 inches by 18 inches is the biggest print size we can do. So we can do stuff like yard signs is the most common, acrylic. We can do pretty much any kind of plastic. So we've done stuff on this including the lid of a cooler. We've done cigar boxes, golf balls, glass cups, water bottles. Pretty much if it fits in this machine, it can print on it. The other nice part is that the front, as you can see right here, the front is open. So when I say if it fits in the machine, it doesn't even need to entirely fit. It just needs to kind of fit. As long as the material can fit under the print head itself, it can print on it. There's such a wide array of materials that this thing can print on. We're really just scratching the surface. We just tried stretch canvas for the first time. So we did some canvas prints. We did a couple things on the wall there, some car pictures that we did. That's on an acrylic. So it's a thick 1/4-inch thin plastic. We print on the second surface of the back side of the material, and then you can see from the other side kind of the image come through, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's thick plastic.
Yeah, so it's good. I mean, the other thing you can do is it can print in multiple layers. So we can do stuff like signage for hotels or hospitals where you can have that plaque that goes outside of an office or whatever it may be and can actually do raised print. So we can print Braille on there, which is really nice. So we're still kind of experimenting on how to accomplish that, but once we master it, it'll be something else that we can offer. So
what are we printing here?
So we've got here a cigar box. So this was one, there's all different wood finishes that we've tested printing on. This particular one is a tricolor blend, is the particular color. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit the start button. I'll hand that off.
Let's go. We're printing on the logo jet. We're printing on a cigar box. Any guesses what we're going to print on this cigar box, Stefania?
A logo.
Good job. It's going in. It's a lot side by side. Oh, there we go.
Open the hood.
Open the hood.
This particular machine doesn't have a white channel. This one has white and clear. So a lot of times, this one I did put white down first, but usually what we can do is if we're printing on a dark surface, put white first, then put your color on top of it. The inks, pretty much in all of our machines, pretty much all the machines, the inks themselves or toners act almost like a stained glass effect, where it's going to take on whatever the background color is. So in this case, we're doing just a green logo, so you're going to see the green, but you'll also see the brown of the wood come through it. Whereas we can also, if we did it with white first, it would put down that white layer first, then it would put the ink color on top of it, so it would pop like you would see on pretty much any other material. So this one, yeah, so this has got that strong base of wood behind it, rather than having that base of white. So there's a couple different ways to do it and experiment with it. Really, it depends on what the outcome you're looking for is.
Very cool. Be a good friend. Cigars. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate that too.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It's a win-win. Great podcast. I'm coming home with some swag. I got erasable pens,
There you go.
posters. This is beautiful. I really enjoyed this podcast. Learned so much about Cricket Press and my friend Greg. We're doing wonderful things over here. It's pretty cool.
So the difference between that one and this one, the main difference between the Roland and the Logo Jet is the types of inks. So you got on the Roland the eco solvent based inks. So those are just going to dry with air. This one actually uses a UV lamp and cures those inks. So instantly, it's already done to the touch. Those inks are as dry as they're ever going to be.
Be a good friend. This is great.
Very cool.
Keeping this, or going to put cigars in and raffle it all.
There you go. Perfect.
At the golf tournament.
Definitely. Put some
That is
balls
really
inside
cool
of it.
How, it's nice and warm, but
Yep.
like you said, it keeps the wood finish.
Yep.
With the green on the background.
Mm-hmm.
Be a good friend. Again, this was podcast episode 136 here at Cricket Press. Thank you, Greg, for being a good friend. Thank you to all of our friends and listeners. Please like and subscribe. And thank you, Direct Line Media. Be a good friend.